The alien fleet descended through the icy void of space, their massive warships slicing past asteroid belts like predators on a hunt. Commander Varnick observed from the bridge of the flagship Kritha's Wrath, his mandibles clicking in anticipation. This campaign had been simple. Locate the dominant species on this backwater planet, and crush them before they could threaten the sector. The humans had been a footnote in the star charts, an inconsequential species barely capable of interstellar flight, yet intelligence reports suggested they had rebuilt themselves after a previous collapse, and for some reason, the fleet's logic circuits insisted caution. Varnick had faced dozens of civilizations, from silicon-based colossi to plasma-born marauders. None had ever inspired even a flicker of doubt in him. They fought, they lost, and their worlds were harvested for resources. End of cycle. Yet something about this planet, Earth as the humans called it, resonated differently in the back of his thought chamber. The sensors showed cities, yes, but ragged, damaged, scarred, as though fire had passed over every street. Every signal of life flickered with an intensity that was almost defiant. The bridge was silent except for the hum of engines and the occasional status update from the subordinate officers. Varnick focused on a human broadcast intercepted days ago, a flickering video of a battle between humans and an invading army not unlike his own. The humans were outnumbered, under-equipped, and surrounded. Yet they fought with a ferocity that made even seasoned Krithri soldiers recoil. The commander had dismissed it initially as propaganda, but the cumulative evidence was undeniable. This species survived when all others would have been extinguished. Varnick ordered a low-orbit reconnaissance probe over the largest human city. The structures were damaged, some leaning at impossible angles. Yet there were survivors, hundreds, thousands, moving amidst rubble, rebuilding, organizing, preparing defenses without hesitation. His sensors detected weapons salvaged from ruins, primitive yet deadly in human hands. And most disturbing of all, human morale indicators were off the charts. The humans were not just surviving. They were anticipating, countering, learning from every strike. Commander, the tactical officer intoned. Our scans suggest human troops are mobilizing. They are coordinating across multiple sectors. Even after recent bombardments, their Adaptin Varnick felt a cold unease in his core. It was impossible, logically impossible, cliffly impossible. Humans should have collapsed under the strain of even minor losses. Yet here they were, standing, calculating, waiting for the alien fleet. The commander tried to mask his unease, mandibles clicking in a hollow rhythm, but deep inside, he felt something unfamiliar. Doubt. Varnick summoned the historical database on human conflicts, searching for patterns. The records were fragmented, inconsistent, but a trend emerged. Humanity survived catastrophes that should have annihilated them. Global wars, natural disasters, pandemics, civil collapses. Each time, they clawed their way back. Each time, they grew stronger, smarter, more unpredictable. Varnick's mind struggled to process the implications. If one species had mastered survival against odds, that would cripple a Krithri fleet. It could not be ignored. A faint vibration ran through the flagship's hull, almost imperceptible but resonating in the commander's exoskeleton. It was not a warning from sensors, not a signal from subordinates, but an instinctive recognition. The kind only creatures who had faced countless battles understood. The humans were not just a species, they were a force, raw, unyielding, and terrifying in their resilience. The thought alone made Varnick's mandibles stiffen, his internal heating systems struggling to maintain calm. As the planet grew larger, in the view screen, cities appearing as glowing constellations amidst scarred landscapes, Varnick felt a cold edge of fear, unfamiliar, unwelcome. He had fought gods and devoured civilizations whole, yet something about these humans caused hesitation. The flagship's AI tried to reassure him. Probability of human resistance is low. Success rate remains near 97.4%. Varnick ignored it, staring at the planet's surface. Already sensing the storm that would come, the humans had survived, and somehow, against all reason, they were ready. He whispered to himself, an alien sound almost lost in the bridge's hum. What have they survived? The words lingered in the air, unanswered. As the first shockwaves of war began to stir on the planet below, the alien fleet unleashed its initial salvo without hesitation. Plasma beams streaking across the atmosphere, cities erupting in fire and smoke. Yet the humans did not scatter. They moved with purpose, rallying survivors, erecting barricades, and returning fire with salvaged weapons of every kind. Even the most heavily armored Crithari tanks found themselves slowed by makeshift fortifications, pits, and trenches that seemed almost instinctive in design. Varnick observed in disbelief, his mandibles twitching. Each human unit appeared coordinated beyond anything the senses had predicted. They were not panicking, not retreating. They were calculating, adapting, countering. Reports flooded the bridge, each more disturbing than the last. Human squads had commandeered alien tech left behind from a failed orbital strike, hacking drones mid-flight, turning them against their own fleet. Even civilian structures housed hidden weapon caches, improvised railguns, and defensive turrets. The humans had anticipated every conventional tactic the Crithari had prepared, and in return, they were inventing new ones on the fly. Probability matrices failed repeatedly, the numbers no longer reliable. From the command tower of the flagship, he watched a group of humans charging a downed battle drone, wielding tools and pieces of metal-like weapons, tearing the machine apart. With precision and speed, the AI noted, human survival skill index, unprecedented. But even the cold logic of the computer could not mask the unease in the commander's chest. There were no casualties on the alien side yet, but the humans were learning faster than they had ever encountered, adapting faster than any simulation could predict. Varnick tried to remind himself of the Crithari's superiority, their fleet, their weaponry, their experience in countless wars. Yet every image on the screens eroded his confidence, every city still standing, every human still moving, chipped away at centuries of certainty. The humans were a paradox, fragile, yet unbreakable, mortal yet immortal in their determination. A whisper of fear curled through Varnick's thoughts, unfamiliar and unwelcome. The battlefield was supposed to be theirs to dominate, but it was not. It belonged, somehow, to these humans too. The first strike ended with the aliens holding the ground. Yes, but shaken, battered, unnerved. Varnick's sensors registered the human losses, yet the survivors reorganized, repaired, and advanced as though nothing had happened. He realized then that this war would not be won by force alone. It would require understanding, adaptation, and perhaps a reckoning he was not prepared for. And deep inside, a question gnawed at him, colder than any vacuum of space. How have they survived so much? Varnick paced the command bridge, mandibles clicking nervously, an alien rhythm usually reserved for moments of contemplation. But this was no ordinary battle. The humans were reorganizing faster than the Crithari could destroy them. Every strike met with a counterstrike, every tactic anticipated and neutralized. Sensors reported units that should have been obliterated, rebuilding weapons, reinforcing fortifications, improvising vehicles from rubble and wreckage. The logic circuits of the flagship stuttered as probabilities faltered, suggesting outcomes that no Crithari had ever faced. The humans were not only surviving, they were thriving amidst chaos. Reports streamed in from planetary drones, each report more incredulous than the last. Human snipers targeting alien officers with unerring accuracy. Engineers converting scavenged energy cells into powerful explosive devices. Even children moving supplies under fire with an efficiency that defied expectation. Varnick's internal system struggled to process it. His mandibles twitched as he tried to convince himself it was an anomaly, a statistical fluke. Yet the images were undeniable. These humans, fragile in appearance, ordinary in stature, were rewriting the rules of war. He called a council of his senior officers, expecting solutions, strategy, reassurance. Instead, he found confusion mirrored in their compound eyes. "Commander," hissed a tactical lieutenant, "our forces are being outmaneuvered, outsmarted at every level. It's as if the humans anticipate us before we even act." Varnick remained silent, feeling a chill run through his exoskeleton. This was not an enemy that could be dominated by strength or terror. The humans had endured collapse, disease, famine, fire, and now war. Each survival had honed them into creatures of instinct and intellect fused together. The battle escalated, the humans pushing back into zones that should have been under control. Their strikes were surgical, devastating, yet calculated, leaving just enough chaos to confuse, but not destroy. Varnick observed a group dismantling a downed war machine piece by piece, using the parts to fortify their barricades. They laughed, cheered, encouraged each other even under bombardment, something entirely alien to the Crithari, who understood war only as domination. The humans had no such concept. They fought to survive, and in surviving, they grew stronger, sharper, unpredictable.